Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just recently did a video about how Monique and Whoopi Goldberg had gotten into a big heated argument backstage in Whoopi Goldberg's dressing room right after Monique's appearance on The View. Well, yesterday, Monique went to Periscope with her husband, Sydney, and they talked about what happened backstage.
As we said, early in the week when we were doing the dancing and all, we were going to discuss the conversation that was had on The View.
On The View, the Breakfast Club, we might as well try to address as much as we can while we have them here.
Let's try to address as much as we can while we have y'all here. And the call-in number is 404-832-2963. And we're going to try to get to as many of your calls as we can today. But the first point at hand, we want to address when I was on The View and I was explaining the situation, and our beautiful sister Whoopi stopped me and said, "I wish you would have called me because I could have schooled you." And what we were talking about was I was not willing to work for free for a movie called Precious, and they wanted me to come overseas and promote this film. And when I say they, that they is Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Lionsgate, and Oprah Winfrey. And because those four entities were unable to bully me to come work for free, as I said on The View, the last 8 years of my life, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because those four entities have set back and they let a lie brew and they let it build and build and build and said absolutely nothing. So when Sister Whoopi says to me on the show, "You should have called me because I could have schooled you." Now, Whoopi and I had a conversation before I went to The View. And I was very appreciative of Sister Whoopi for setting that up because I called her at home and I said, "Hey, Whoopi, you got a minute?" She said, "Give it to me." And I let her know what was going on. Within 2 days, we get a call from the producer from The View. Let's get it set up. I appreciate our sister for that. But the conversation Whoopi and I had before I got to The View, when Whoopi said to me, "If you would have called me, I would have told you. You go to Cannes and you tell them to bring your family over there and it could be a family vacation, and I would have told you, you go over there and you let those people see you." And I said, "Whoopi," and I would have said to you, "At what point do we have to say no?"
At what point do we have to say no?
Because what you're saying to me is what's been said to me throughout my whole career. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the next one. Let's hope for the next one. And if you get over here and they really like you, they might give you a chance. So this is a conversation that my sister and I had off camera, but I'm sure she's not offended that we're having it publicly because she's that kind of woman. Well, she says what she means. So when we had that conversation before I even got to The View, I was very clear about my position, and she was very clear about her position. And neither one of us was wavering from our positions. So when she said on The View, "I would have schooled you," when we got off camera, and Whoopi Goldberg and I went up into her dressing room, and she did not have to do this, y'all. This is why when I say she's a beautiful sister, and people said they clashed. We didn't clash. We just agreed to disagree. Because when we got to her dressing room, and we were sitting down, and this is what she said to me. She said, "Listen, I do." She said, "But from the first time I saw you, I loved you. So I'm going to tell you right now, you've got to take some of this responsibility. And the real problem is, Monique, you're being ill-advised, you're not thinking for yourself, and the real problem is your husband." At that point, I had to grab Whoopi Goldberg's hands as we were sitting across the table from one another. And I said, "Sister, let me tell you about my husband because you're misinformed. And you're making statements that you really don't know what you're talking about. But let me fill you in when you say it's my husband." I said, "See, I've had the big white manager. I've had the big white agent. I've had the big attorney firm all in Hollywood. And every one of them that I had, when I would walk into those meetings, I would watch those people cheat me. I would watch them cheat me. And I would watch them, and they would say to me, 'We'll get him the next time, Monique. We'll get him the next time, Monique.'" I said, "Whoopi, the reason why my husband is considered to be a problem is because when we're in those meetings with those executives, they can't answer his questions. And what normally happens is when we get into those meetings, there are normally no questions ever asked. It is whatever you offer us, that is what we accept, and you're supposed to keep on going." I said, that is why they're having a problem with my husband. I said, so when you say to me, that's the real problem, and I would never say this to anybody, I appreciate what you're saying to me, because there was a woman that was talking to me out of love and out of fear. And I said to Whoopi Goldberg in her dressing room, for some of the things she was sharing with me, which I will never share publicly, because she shared it with me. But I said to her, what you're sharing with me makes me have to fight even harder. Because if not, the baby coming up behind us, she gonna have the same story that me and you're having. I said, Whoopi, how come we can't sit back like Roseanne Barr can? How come we can't sit back like Rosie O'Donnell? How come we can't sit back like Ellen DeGeneres? How come we can't sit back like our white women counterparts? How come we're not given the same opportunities and the same paydays? And when I look at my sister, and she looks back at me, and she says, I need you to let it go and just move on. And I said, Whoopi, because we keep letting it go is why they keep fucking over us. So I can't let it go. We've moved on. That's just life. You've got to move on. But you can't let it go when you've been bullied.
And this is part of what we would refer to as cognitive dissonance. It is when you understand in theory and in your mind that something internally is wrong, but your actions say to you, despite the fact you've been taught, never let someone bully you, never let someone cheat you, but it is a large entity. It's Oprah, it's Tyler, it's Will, it's Lionsgate, and you're supposed to say nothing.
It's Lee Daniels.
It's Lee Daniels. Oh, well, I ain't know it was them. Normally you should be quiet, normally you should speak up, but as it pertains to them, you need to be quiet. And our motto is, we respect everyone, but we over-respect no one. And if regular common courtesy is not good enough, then unfortunately, that's what makes us difficult when we ask questions that they're not used to answering.